why a product like this can be an absolute golden asset for your Amazon inventory, and why you should never ever underestimate the monthly sales of anything that you're analyzing, because that factor is just as important as profitability. And to be honest, I would say it's more important. But let's get into the video. This is a replenishable product, okay? I'm not just going to be talking about CeraVe as an individual thing, although it is, in my opinion, one of the best moisturizing creams. So this is the perfect example of a replenishable product, okay? So when I say replenishable product, I mean things that people use every day or every other day or once a week at the most. So basically your household essentials, okay? People are using things like this all the time. Okay, so they are very reliable because people are buying their household essentials from Amazon because it's just convenient as opposed to going to the store to get their stuff. And so that is why they are reliable. People are buying them all the time. When you think of stuff that you're going to sell on Amazon, I think for a lot of people, the first thing that comes to mind is more so things like this than things like this. Now, of the two products that I have here, which one would you say is cooler? I'm sure most of you will agree with me when we say the Lego set. Now, in terms of an individual profit basis, which one would you say makes more? Lego set, okay? Now, if we look at this Lego set right here, obviously it's a great item. These things will do really well for a season on Amazon. When I say season, I don't mean strictly just one season. I mean for a limited window. And that window can go on for potentially up to, I think maybe 2 years with Lego sets. I think that's about what you get on them. A year to 2 years maybe, depending on how well they actually do. But things like this, not just Lego sets, but lots of other things that are along the same kind of lines as this, they have a certain shelf life. So they will serve you very well, but for a period of time. And then obviously you're going to have to hop to the next opportunity once things like this are gone. Whereas with your replenishable products, with your everyday essentials, these things don't really tend to dip that drastically, whereby you just can't proceed with them anymore because there's always a constant demand for things like this. Sure, certain brands might dip a little bit, but it won't be the case like this, where one day it just won't be a thing anymore and people will have had their time to buy them and then it will be over and that's it. Things like this people have a constant need for, okay? So the difference is, and why I think people don't think too much of things like this and more so of things like this, is obviously profitability, and I completely understand. But never forget that monthly sales play a very important factor in actually making that money, because something can make you a really good profit, but if it's not selling that great, then you're not going to see that money. You're not going to make that money. What you need is the monthly sales. And of course, in your Amazon inventory, it's important to have a balance of products. But if you haven't yet invested in a range of these sorts of replenishables, then I would advise that you do so, because even though they aren't heavy hitters in terms of profit, they are very reliable in terms of sales, and the little bits that they make soon add up. So to give you an example, we're just going to go off the top of my head here. Let's say this product here would make £1.25 profit per unit, and let's say the monthly sales is 450 times a month. Okay, now let's say you win the buy box 25% of the time in a month. Now, even though this isn't strictly how it works, let's say you make a quarter of those sales. So off the top of my head, it's somewhere around 112. So let's go with that. Now, £1.25 or $1.25, whatever currency you're working with, times 112 is $140, £140, again, whatever currency you're working with. So that's how much that would make. Now, let's look at this product right here. Let's say it has 100 monthly sales, but the profit is greater. So let's say you make £6 or $6 profit on this item. So again, for the sake of this video, let's say that you win the buy box 25% of the time. So therefore you make 25% of the sales. Again, I know that's not strictly how it works, but let's say you make 25 sales of that item a month at £6 profit each, you're looking at £150, $150. Now, there isn't a massive difference in the amount of profit that these products have made, okay? Not a lot in that example that I've given, and that is a very real example because, as I say, everyday essentials are literally flying off the shelves. Things like this will do so as well, but obviously, as I say, they have a shelf life. But that is just a practical example of why you shouldn't underestimate these sorts of things that we have every single day that often get overlooked. You should never underestimate them because the monthly sales really do make up for the lack of profitability per one. Now, if you just sold one or two, I'd completely get it. But if they have a very high volume of monthly sales, then all of those little profits add up. I mean, ask yourself, would you rather have that £140, that $140, or would you not? I know which one I would do. So that is why you should never underestimate these kinds of products against these kinds of products. Like, it's great to have both in your inventory. Thank you so much for watching and have a fantastic day.